Welcome to Flying for Flavor. That's one of the, we're very organized. It's September. I can't even use the excuse that it's back to school and I had to get kids ready. That's not my problem.
No, I had to get 3 kids back to school. I'm exhausted. That's the first Steph's like, how you doing? I'm like, I'm sleepy, but I'm going to come anyways. We'll be fine. I need the wine right now.
Pushing through.
Yeah.
I came back from Spain and I brought home wine and treats and a cold.
So I'm very excited to share the wine and the treats, but not the cold.
Not the cold. That's why he's sitting way over there. And Stacy wasn't feeling well today either. It's the time of year. I don't know how many people I know are not well. And I was at the dentist this morning and my dentist was saying that his kids both have colds already, like just crazy.
Well, because the weather changes so quickly. Like if you're in Canada, you notice it's like, at least in Ontario, one day it's summer, the kids start school and bam, it's fall. Like the warm weather's gone. It's getting colder.
Well, that's what I'm wondering because in Spain it was 31, 32 every day. And then all of a sudden I come back with, what are these sleeves things that I'm suddenly having to wear?
Well, and we even did that because our wedding 2 weeks ago, we were sweating our faces off. And our wedding we just went to together this past weekend was super comfortable and not hot at all.
No, it was nice.
Yeah, and then we're like, boom, cold. Like today, like yesterday it poured rain.
Yesterday
like
was cold and yucky, yeah.
And today is just kind of temperate.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping we could sit outside again today, but not this time. Okay, so one of the reasons I wanted to do this episode on new things in travel was partly because I found there was a lot of really cool things that I noticed while I was traveling over these last couple of weeks that I thought like, oh my God, these are a lot of cool things that are happening in businesses that are popping up and new services and things that you may not have noticed, or if you're not traveling on an ongoing basis, you don't notice it. But I'm just keenly aware of these things now. But anyways, I couldn't exactly put all the food from Spain in my suitcase. Lord help me, I tried. I didn't bring all the weird fish out for you though.
I'm not sad about that.
I brought, I'm probably the only person who goes into the grocery store. And I came back with razor clams in a can, and I got these other little weird, I forget what they're called. They're little tiny fish, and they usually pile them on tapas and stuff. So I came home with canned fish. I know.
So she said, she's like, I didn't bring a lot of wine, but I brought a lot of canned fish.
Canned fish. But so these would be similar to a lot of the tapas and things that were at the market that I spent a lot of my time at in Madrid. So these are just samples of it. So anyways, you can help yourself. Norm's already been in here if you
come and had his snack.
Yes, already. He kind of sneaks in and sneaks out. So this first one is just ham, and then there's tomato, garlicky tomato, and then artichoke. And then the other one's a tuna salad with just a hard-boiled egg and crispy onions.
Yum.
Then on this side, this is a piquillo pepper stuffed with goat cheese on ham. These are roasted vegetables on brie. And then those are actually potato chips from Spain, but I didn't bring them from Spain because you get them at Marshall's and HomeSense.
I got potato chips in my bubbles.
Yes, I know. Anyways, these are from Spain. So when you go there, you'll actually see they have this patatas fritas on the bag. And for some reason, the Spanish have mastered the potato chip. I don't know what it is,
excited.
but if you find them at the stores, they're usually at like Winners and HomeSense or whatever. I just find that they're always kind of crispy, big bags of them. They're not overly salted. But there's a lot of
They're not greasy.
No, and they have potato chips just about everywhere at the bars. It's just the thing because you can have them with beer and wine and whatever, right? And a lot of places when you go and order a drink, they will come, especially like happy hour or later, they will bring you a little bowl of something to snack on, whether it's nuts or chips or something like that.
Dry oats, you need to drink more.
Yeah, well, I don't need the help. And then you weren't at this, you weren't at the episode with Stacy and I when I introduced her to the Almond Brothers. These are lemon almonds.
Oh, these are the ones you get from Winners.
Yes.
Yeah, I like the, what do I do?
There's cinnamon roasted.
The cinnamon ones.
Yeah.
These are the lemon ones?
Yeah, they taste like lemon shortbread. So I know. So Stacy was, I kind of cleaned them out.
Yeah, I like the lemon
ones. And then this is actually from Spain. I thought, just because you got a sweet tooth more than I do. So there's 2 different kinds in here. So this is called turron. It is a nougat.
Okay.
Okay, so it's huge in Spain. There's an actual entire store that sells it. So I brought home like little sampler packs.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so you can, I have a couple that you can bring home for you and the kids or whatever for Mark. So these ones I cut up here. So one of them, it says it's called egg yolk. So it's going to be a little bit more like creme brulee-ish, custardy. And then the other one is just a soft almond nougat.
Yum.
Yeah, so they're both good, again, with beer and
Nougat's like the inside of a chocolate bar.
Correct, but they just have nougat. Like they'll have
cool.
nougat or they'll have chocolate in the store, but it's very seldom. Like they don't
Together.
have. Yeah, they're all these. But almond nougat is really big. Almonds are really big in Spain. So, anyways,
I'm excited.
Those are our snacks. And then for beverages, she's not drinking anything Spanish, but it's okay to drink rosé anytime.
I think it's cool though because I've never done bubbles from a can before.
Yeah, so
I know it's a big thing.
I bought a few of them to leave here. So this is the Joy. This is the rosé. So this is probably like semi-dry. So it's not. It's
nice.
fruity, but it's not. Yeah.
It's not like overly sickening sweet.
No. And then I had another one the other day, and I'm thinking, was it a prosecco? I can't remember. But anyways, if you look in the chilled section of most of your liquor wine stores now, you can get a lot of these small cans, which are great for travelers or when you don't want to open a whole bottle, right?
I can't read the gold because I'm old. What is the product of Australia?
Okay.
I can get Australian bubbles.
He's so excited.
Give me a on the blanket. She's like, screw
Rory's visiting us again today.
Come on over here.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I even gave up my sofa blanket.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Auntie Steph.
Okay. All right. So that's what we're eating and drinking today. Cynthia wants to start off with her WTAF. Even while I was in Spain, I didn't stop researching on Twitter.
So going from our beautiful spread of Spanish delicacies to what they're serving lately in Northern Ontario as an app. So I'm a big fan of like the retro stuff. Like, you know, when my kids were younger, I wouldn't let them eat things like craft dinner, beefaroni, that kind of stuff. So I wanted them eating healthier, fresh made foods.
Oh.
As they got a little bit older, I started allowing them to have those things, you know, in moderation. Yep. And now that they're teenagers, they think that that's the only food that exists on the planet. And so they eat a lot of it. But I can't say I ever considered doing hard-boiled eggs. So it's like a deviled egg, but instead of taking your yolk out and mixing it with like mayonnaise and all kinds of yummy stuff, they took the yolk out and they just put SpaghettiOs in. So hard-boiled egg, take it out, SpaghettiOs, and serve it. Like it's got to be cold.
So if you like cold spaghetti.
But not cold, yummy-tasting spaghetti.
No, but there's no egg yolk in it. So essentially the egg white is just a vehicle for the SpaghettiOs. Because really egg whites don't have a ton of flavor.
So just so we're clear, like I can see a lot of times when we have lower... She wants to take her t-shirt off.
Oh, is that what she's doing?
Her sweater off.
That's hilarious.
Okay, lie down. You done?
She wants to strip for the camera.
Yeah. That's not a career for you. Okay. So a lot of times when people have like a lot of these overly processed foods, it's because they are budget conscious and they're a cheaper way to feed and those kinds of things. But if you're already buying the eggs and you're already boiling them, don't top them with SpaghettiOs.
Or replace the yolk with SpaghettiOs.
You know, what the fuck?
You can't even say it's vegan because it's still egg.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it either.
It's just gross. So anyways,
I think people just try to combine the weirdest things they possibly can and see if they can actually get any rise out of people on Twitter.
Then they get people like us talking about it.
Yeah, it worked. Right up there with the pumpkin spice lattes. The PSL stuff's back out.
I had my first one. Oh, I've had 3. They've been out for 2 days.
Did you even wait? It's going to say September 1st.
My son got a job at Starbucks.
I saw that.
I have all the excuses in the world now to go get my PSL.
Oh, good Lord. So we have to track down. So the other thing we saw was that Krispy Kreme has a pumpkin spice donut.
Yes.
Stuffed with cheesecake, which I find is overkill.
Road trip.
So I'm wondering, where's the closest Krispy Kreme?
Probably North Toronto.
I guess so. There's always some kids selling Krispy Kreme donuts for fundraisers. So
but they
if
never
you have
bring the good ones. They only bring the plain ones.
I do like the plain ones. So we'll just have to wait and see if they actually someone wants to get more donations for their hockey team or whatever by bringing
your pumpkin
the
spice
better other
cheesecake donuts, and Cynthia will buy them all.
Okay, so I want to talk about what's new in travel. So here's a list of all the fun things that I found. Did you like my napkins? I'll put that away. So I have a collection of cocktail napkins. That's what she's giggling at.
They're just for me.
They're just for you. I just grabbed it because I thought, oh, it's cute. I'm just use them up. Okay, so the first one is, I remember, I don't know if I messaged you guys about this, Bag B&B.
No.
So just like there's Airbnb, if you travel a lot or you have worried about layovers or you're spending a whole day or if you have a late flight in the day and you have to check out your hotel early, A lot of hotels don't have the resources, or if you're staying in an Airbnb, you don't have a place to store your luggage when you have to check out.
Oh, really?
So if you're in an Airbnb, it's not like a hotel where it has luggage storage or a bellboy. But even some hotels, if they're full.
Sorry, what? No bellboy?
I know. What, bellboy? So this company decided, which was smart, they've partnered with existing hotels and other businesses. It could be a restaurant that has extra storage space or whatever. So other businesses are renting out space to this bag B&B business to store luggage all over the world. So you have an app exactly like you would have on your Airbnb on your phone. And so I actually used it when we were in Brazil. So I actually punched in, where I was. It gave me the locations that were closest to me, and I had choice of locations and prices. Basically, dropped the bags off. You get a receipt. The company on your app charges a credit card, just like you would for like Uber or whatever. And when it's time to pick up your bags, you go and you grab them, and you go back go to the airport.
That's interesting.
It is interesting. So I was really impressed with it. So I'll probably be using it more often. We didn't need it this trip. The other thing I want to talk about is not talking about airports. The airports are so much bigger than they used to be because the larger cities and people are traveling more. There's more hubs, more flights going in, more people hanging around the airports. And so, of course, they want to make money. So they're putting more stuff in there. So I'm just finding like you get off one plane and just to go get your bags now, you're walking for a good 15, 20 minutes. It takes to get from one place to another. It's a long haul. And so it's not just because there's more planes, but I think it's also because of all these extra things they keep adding to airports.
I can't get over now. Like, they're full cities in airports. I mean, I know the bigger aurports always had kind of mini cities and stuff, but we're seeing them more and more and more. And like you say, it's definitely, anywhere we've gone now, our walks are way farther than they've ever been. And there's travelators in some of the bigger ones, but not all of them. And I can't even imagine. I mean, with Sarah in her wheelchair, it's good at least because I can pile luggage on her and we can wheel. But if you've got any kind of mobility issues and you're not taking advantage of the wheelchairs at the airport, that's hard to make that kind of hoof all the way across in time.
Well, I think it's Calgary. I think Calgary Airport has almost like a little train system in one of their terminals. It's like so smart. But that's why they have to do that. And I have to apologize for the sniffing again. The Abderhausen kicked in. Yeah, I know. It's hot, baby. So the other thing about airlines, they're moving services now. A lot of the things that used to be automatically included are considered add-ons.
I couldn't get over the other day. My husband's traveling. He's in Montreal right now, and you used to get you're even getting charged now on Porter for carry-on.
Correct. So and it has to do with how you book. So because I book at one of those aggregate booking sites for a lot of my flights to get better pricing. To get those pricing, you're actually they get almost like economy pricing, and economy pricing, even for overseas travel,
like
doesn't include a checked bag.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm pretty good at my packing, but I wanted to bring a bag there just so that I can carry stuff home because I brought home like cooking stuff and everything.
I do the same thing.
So, and so I had to pay. It was 60 euros. And that's if I paid it in advance, 24 hours prior.
And that's another buyer beware thing. Just because the price of the flight seems lower doesn't actually mean that you're getting a better deal, because by the time you've got all the add-ons you have to add on, you'd have been better off going with the next step anyways.
Correct. And those aggregate booking sites don't always tell you what's included with it or what bags are included or what other services are, or you can't necessarily upgrade to the next level plus and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So keep an eye on that because all those extra fees add up. I said, although Wi-Fi is available for a fee on many flights now, which I think is very cool. I remember there was some big... I think it was the Brett Kavanaugh testimony I think it was on CNN or C-SPAN. I actually used paid for Wi-Fi.
Oh, I remember that.
I watched the whole thing on the flight, which I think is kind of cool because once you're up there, they have their own systems. But I was laughing. So surprisingly, my flight, this is a little shout out to Air Transat. It's not even just the fact that they didn't have Wi-Fi in the plane. Understandable. They did not have a shout at. They didn't even have USB or plug-ins at the seats, which for an overnight flight is not cool, right? You have devices or whatever, and it'd be different. They didn't even have screens in the back of all of the TVs or on all the seats compared to other planes that do. So they only had the one thing and everybody had to watch the same movie. And we were sitting in a row where it was almost over our heads. We couldn't see it anyways. Luckily I had stuff on my iPad. But I was basically balancing or using my iPad for part of the flight and then my phone for part of the flight because I couldn't charge either one.
We had what is it when like two airlines, like you book with one airline, but then you end up flying a leg with another airline? It's a something.
I don't remember.
Anyways, and when we came back from Australia, when we flew there, we were fine. I think it was Air Canada. We had all the regular kind of things you have available. When we flew back, the middle flight, so the longest flight was through Air Transat, and there was nothing. Like the TVs weren't working full stop. So even the ones they had every few feet, even those were turned off. So again, I had made sure I had stuff on my iPad and whatever else. Otherwise, we'd have got insane. Like if we'd have traveled with the kids like that, it would not have gone well at all.
No, and that was the whole thing is that, you know, I just never assumed that I have to make sure all my devices were fully charged like that to get on a overnight flight anyways. We talked about that, the free Wi-Fi. Oh, so here's a picture. So I'm going to show you here, and then for those on the audio show, you'll see it, the picture of it in your show notes. So when we checked in, we got one of these. Any idea what that is?
Petite Palace.
Yeah, that's the name of our hotel.
Oh.
Have you ever seen that before?
No.
That is portable Wi-Fi.
You got it on your plane or at your hotel?
At the hotel.
That's cool.
For walking around.
Like walking around?
Uh-huh. I had my own bubble.
That's cool.
I know. So I don't know who we're going to look in to find out who made this one, but it comes with its own little charger and case. And she said at the check-in desk, because we booked through Expedia, hotels.com, that was included. So for our entire stay, all we had to do is recharge it. It comes with, you get your own secure, almost like you're having a hotspot. Mm-hmm. Right? Name with password. Mm-hmm. And so as long as you keep it charged, so then I was working at a cafe, I can go work everywhere. I don't have to worry
amazing.
Is that not the coolest thing?
That's cool for a business traveler.
So when I came home, I wanted to go and look it up. So I think it has to do with, it was Orange is the provider, I think, over there that's actually providing this. But there is a mywebspot.com that offers this similar service. And I think there's other ones that are out there. So you can actually rent anywhere in, I think it's North America or Europe. And I'll put a link in the show notes. So you can rent something like this and get it to you saying, well, I want to rent one for a week. Even if you're going traveling, like if Mark's going traveling someplace and wants to get one, you can rent it. They will ship it to you, or you can pick it up at certain depots. Mm-hmm. And then you just mail it back when you're done.
That's cool.
Kind of like the old Netflix thing.
Like the old Netflix.
Yeah, it's not over. I'm thinking for a week it was, I'm trying to remember how much it was. It works out to about €6 a day, which is about $10 a day.
That's not bad. I mean, I pay, to roam like home, I pay $7 a day on my bill.
Yeah, so that's for the
States.
States.
A bit more for overseas, about
Correct.
$12 or $15.
So it works out to, it's pretty much comparable. So the only thing is that you can either, if you don't have one of those plans where you can add on the extra stuff for roaming, and I mean, do you remember the days I used to have to call everybody to tell them I was leaving? And so anyway, so that was kind of like the highlight for me, especially when I wanted to go and get some stuff done and not have to worry about, well, I need to go here because they have Wi-Fi, or I have to go find a Starbucks, right? So
that's cool.
Yeah, I bring it myself. So taking one step above that, I actually found another place called a travel service center, and I have a photo of that one too, from the front door, because I walked right by it and I went, what is this place?
I see a whole lot of photos of food.
Yeah, well, that's what I do.
Point
so it's called
Traveler.
Point Traveler. So it is a business. I don't know where they started this from. It has, you can rent a stroller, portable Wi-Fi rentals, like I mentioned. You can arrange for accommodations, airport shuttles and transportation. They have the baggage storage, leave your bags there. They have an ATM out front, things for change, the key drop off. The key drop off are those things where, let's say if you had an Airbnb, and you didn't want to have to arrange for a key drop off, they also have that key access as well. So basically it's this one-stop shop of everything that you need for traveling in one small business.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, I've never seen that before, and I thought, oh my God, how smart is that? So all these things that you're always looking for extra services, like they probably sell like chargers and all kinds of stuff there as well. So everything having to do that a traveler would need. So I did go onto their website, and I'll put a link in the show notes. My only comment was, and I sent them a message already on their website, be prepared for, there was a pop-up that was showing up that made it look like it was part of the website, and if you click on it, it's basically saying to accept cookies.
Yeah.
But it's not really to say you're not a robot, but when you do that, you suddenly start getting all these messages. So just be careful. I sent them a direct message through their Facebook page just to give them a heads up that, hey, like something's wrong with your website. because I don't think I'm sure it's just they don't realize, right? Unless they're looking at their website like a user.
We rarely
so
go
just
to
be
our
careful
website.
and don't click on anything that you don't need to. So I mentioned about the USB and plugins. Aside from not on Air Transat, I like the fact that they're pretty much everywhere. So airports, some airports are better than others. We're having places to charge. Any kind of place that's at a bar or a food service place, if you do not have a plug-in or a USB port, you are not getting my business.
Yeah.
Because if I have to sit there for an hour or so, first of all, I'm checking on flight status.
Yeah.
I'm checking for delay things. Sometimes I'm actually doing work to kill time. Other times I'm uploading photos or doing whatever. But I need to be able to charge something. And the fact that if you have a place for me to charge, I will actually stay longer, and then I'll spend more money.
I'll spend more money.
It's just a meh. And I'm also noticing there's a lot more comfortable seating in airports now. So aside from just the little standard bucket seats that have always been around, now you're getting things like these molded reclining things for laying down. There's actually massage chairs at some places.
Really?
Yeah, they're almost like little, armchairs at other places. There was one restaurant, I think it was in, it wasn't Madrid, it was in Montreal. I forget which terminal we were in, because we were on a layover. And there's one restaurant in there where they had, instead of you're actually sitting on brown leather armchairs with tables out in the
Nice.
the
In
lobby
the lounge?
part, in the lobby part. So that's what you're sitting with outside of the actual. They always have tables on the outside,
On the restaurant.
and then on the inside they had some with leather chairs. But they're all like super comfy and like you really want to just sort of kick back and sit.
Well, that's what you need when you're traveling. And like, I get the idea of not wanting people to stay in their seats for too long or not letting them lie down or stuff. But the reality is, we spend a lot of time in airports when we're traveling, and to have it uncomfortable like that is really, really challenging.
Yeah, or if I'm sitting on a wobbly wooden bench stool with no back on it, I'm not staying very long.
Yeah.
So that was one of those other things. And then the other services that I've noticed now you get a lot of VIP things. Yes, there's a lot of lounges. Some lounges need to up their game. Sometimes you're just going in there and you're getting free wine and a few apps, but they're not really offering anything else.
Quarters has actually gone down in the last year, because you don't have near the selection you used to have in there. Now sometimes you just go in and just like the little dried cereal you can get in the bowl, and that's it. And they used to have like full, like you could almost get a meal.
Yeah.
In the porter lounges, and I find that they've definitely been cutting a lot over the last year. So they came out really big with all of the things, and that porter lounge in Toronto was like to die for. And now you get like the mixed cereal in the bowl and a glass of water and maybe some coffee, and that's about it.
Yeah. Well, again, that's what said they're cutting back to keep prices down, right?
Yeah.
So spa services are really big. I don't know how many times I saw somebody at places to get quick manicures, pedicures, massages on those little short massage chairs. They have rooms. You can rent rooms now for naps at some airports. So there's all
Little
these
sleep pods and things.
Yeah. So basically, whatever you want to do. I think I've even seen like slots at one of them.
Oh, definitely.
So it's just surprising how many things that they're actually including in airports now. So they're really trying to make it more entertaining as opposed to just sort of sitting around and waiting.
They don't want to give you more comfy chairs and more lounge couches. They want to give you things where you can spend your money.
Exactly. So if they're taking up on the massage or the sleep thing, and the one time that we desperately needed sleep things, or when I were like, please let there be a sleep pod in this airport, and there wasn't. That's the way it works. So our show notes are listed under stephaniepichet.ca/flavor2-47. This is episode 47 of season 2. We only have a couple of 1 or 2 episodes left.
We're almost into season 3.
We're almost into season 3. So I'll have details about that for the next episode, just to give you a heads up. I'm really hoping that, again, we can do a launch like kind of like we did like a party thing last year, because I think it's kind of cool that we're on season 3.
Season 3.
Yeah, look at us. In the meantime, you want to take over for Stacy?
Rate and subscribe with us on iTunes, on YouTube, and your favorite podcast player.
Podcast play.
I almost had it. Oh, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
And subscribe
now,
to
see, I am getting good at doing what Stacy does.
You're doing Stacy's thing.
The thing.
Anyways, and don't forget, we're on a 2-week schedule, so our next episode is scheduled for Saturday, September 21st. And I've got some ideas of what episode that's going to be, but you'll have to keep an eye on. I usually change the header photographs on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, basically the beginning of the week, just so you know what it's going to be. So I guess we'll see you on the 21st.
From all of us here at Flying for Flavor.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks so much for watching this video. We love putting it together. It's so much fun. All of our favorite things, good food, good drinks, a lot of travel talk, and we put it all together in one fun show. So make sure you follow us here, click on the videos below, follow, subscribe, and find us on your favorite podcast player. We'll see you at our next trip.